Hello, I'm Citrus, and you're looking at the Master Grade Nemo from Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam. This kit was released in February 2006, retailing originally for 2,800 Japanese yen. For the longest time, this was the only release of this sculpt until the Nemo was kind of shoehorned into the Gundam Unicorn OVAs, and it received 2 Premium Bandai releases around that time. I actually planned to build this kit quite a few years ago, which is why all the runners are already unbagged, but something came up and more things kept coming up, so this was put off for a very long time. My copy was printed in August 2011, and I bought it in July of 2014 for $26.60, including shipping. The manual is pretty thin. It only has a total of 15 pages. So it's not a terribly complicated thing, and you wouldn't expect it to be, being so cheap. I would put the complexity roughly on par with like maybe a Reborn 100 type of kit today. But what was really remarkable about it is just how insanely cheap this kit was for what it delivers. Another sign of a bygone era is that the back of the box is printed, this time advertising more Z Gundam series master grades. At the time, the Gundam Mark II and the Zeta 2.0 master grades were all very new. We get some extra story stuff up here. It's a shame that Bandai doesn't do this anymore. Having this kind of stuff on the kit really makes it feel more connected to a narrative before you even take the kit home and open it up. Going through the runners really quick here, you can see there's a lot of sculpted detail on just about every inch of this kit. The parts count may not be very high, but it certainly feels like the kit does the most with what it has. Especially unique are the green sabers, which we don't see very often. So with all that out of the way, let's get on to the build. Here's the completed Nemo spinning around. I didn't really keep track of how long I spent building this kit, but I think it's about the 20-30 hour range as usual. And here's a size comparison next to the Master Grade RX-78 version 3.0. Here are all the colors I used this time. So that's quite a lot. And one of the reasons for that is that this kit doesn't come with any foil stickers. So for example, the little tiny areas like the scope of the gun, you'd have to paint that in yourself. And for other areas like the back of the head, you can either paint it or you can do what I've done, which is take a piece of orange plastic from the runner, where the visor comes from. You can see it here on the A runner. There's quite a lot. And you can just cut a piece off, plane it down until it is basically an even thickness all the way across, because there is a bit of a taper to it. And then glue it in place. I used all of the stickers and dry transfers included, except for the triangles that are supposed to go on the shoulder. I chose to paint in the little red marks on the blue armor and also the red around the vent on the shoulder itself. So I think adding the triangles would have made this look just a little bit too busy. Take the accessories off. A very basic looking kit overall. The legs flare out a lot towards the bottom, which looks really cool. And you can see there's a good bit of mechanical detail exposed through the sides. You can also pull this out to show the back. Being an older Master Grade, quite a few areas still need paint. For example, the inside of the vents here, I painted those gray. And same story on the shoulders. A little bit of silver inside of the arms. And that's pretty much it. You can see the gold rings in there as well. These thrusters are, of course, multicolored, which is really cool. Typically, when you have like a really old Master Grade and a newer high grade, the high grade is like a little better. But this is one of the rare cases where the newer kit basically offers no improvement over this whatsoever. All of the red that you see, aside from the painted marks, of course, are red plastic, but the high grade has no red parts in it at all, which is very disappointing. So it's a situation where old is gold. Now, as for gimmicks and features, there's really not much going on here. For one, you can probably guess from the price point that this wasn't meant to be anything particularly fancy. But it is still pretty thoroughly articulated, as you can see here. Just a single joint in the hip. Not too much motion out, but you can move in any other direction as much as you like. The hips can also swing forwards and back together. The lock on mine isn't super tight, so if I want to move the legs, I usually hold the other leg in place while I move it. Otherwise, if I hold the body instead, you can see that it's really easy to just move both legs at the same time. If you're very precise, you can actually slice this piece in the middle, and then both legs will be able to swing back and forth independently. Bandai has actually implemented this change on some Master Grades after this one, but I don't think my skill is enough to make that modification. And this is technically a double joint in the knee, but it's a little bit tricky to get the best out of it. So if you just bend like this, you can see it gets stuck here, and that's like barely 90 degrees. So if you bend the top joint first, it comes down a little further. And then that gets you just a bit further than 90 degrees. I'm sure a newer version of this kit, if Bandai were to ever make one, although I highly doubt it, they would have some kind of more clever geometry in the lower leg that lets the knee swing out more, or maybe like an extension gimmick a la the Master Grade Jesta. And then one rotation up there, and the bottom is just a ball joint. At least on mine, because I painted the pistons, there's quite a bit more friction in there when you try to move them, so it's not as smooth as if they were unpainted. And just a little bit of motion in the ankles. Not a ton, but enough. Up here you have pretty standard kinds of joints that go this way and a little bit forwards and back. For the cockpit, there is a lower piece you can open down here, and the top part, kind of have to pull it forwards a bit first, and then it lifts up. You can see the pilot in there. So yeah, basic, but as far as master grades go, pretty fully featured, I would say. On the back, the backpack can be removed, but this is a pretty special type of connection, so probably not going to have a lot of things that you can just stick in here. But this is a centrally placed peg hole, so if you want to customize, there's probably something you can do with that. And for accessories, you really just get two, aside from the beam sabers. I get this shield, pretty well detailed on the back, very light, very thin. It has the extension gimmick, and you can lock it into place like so. It doesn't go anywhere. And the beam rifle is pretty much just a 3-piece affair, well, 4 pieces. 2 halves, the muzzle, and this little bit in the front. And that's pretty much it. The pilot figure is orange this time to match the one inside the cockpit. And the beam saber effect is bright green, which is very unique. Before I built this kit for the first time, I only wanted the best. I was one of those people who would call a model kit obsolete if a better kit of the same or a similar mobile suit existed. And that's an absolutely absurd notion, because it presumes that there's somehow a single objective metric upon which all kits can be ranked, and it ignores the unique appeals of a kit regardless of its age, complexity, price, design, and whatever else. Building the Master Grade Nemo opened my eyes to this. At the time, Peak Gunpla was still the Master Grade Astray and the version 2.0 Master Grades. Verka still meant fiddly, delicate mess, and the Master Grade 00 Riser was just around the corner. The Master Grade Nemo pushed me to look past modern releases and discover the charms of older kits for myself. I think this single kit had the most profound and foundational impact on my attitude and approach to Gunpla as a whole. That said, at the time, the first and biggest appeal to me was the Master Grade Nemo's price. In 2011, it was very compelling. Today, it's harder to say. For a long time after 2006, almost nothing came out that challenged the Master Grade Nemo's value proposition. But that changed with the release of the Reborn 100 line, more robust real grades, and more intricate high grades. There are many more kits now that offer comparable levels of detail, complexity, gimmicks, and completion in the same price bracket. It also doesn't help that, given the irregularity of reprints and exchange rate fluctuations that sway retail prices all the time, it's not easy to find the Master Grade Nemo for sale at a price that matches what it delivers. And of course, the tame design and minimal loadout of the Nemo itself further limits its appeal. I still love this kit. If you have similar tastes in mind, you'll probably love it too. Otherwise, I'm not sure you'll get much out of it that you can't get out of other kits that are, if not cheaper, at least easier to find. It's not the happiest conclusion, but I think it's the most fair one that I can give. That's all for this review. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.